welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. It's week 2, Commander Week. The New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. The bottom of the barrel of the NFC East goes toe-to-toe on Sunday. And guess what? It used to be, as a Giants fan, that you can always say, well, at least we're not the Washington Commanders. Or we always beat the Washington Commanders. And for some strange reason, the spread coming from Vegas went from, I believe, 2.5 to 1.5. A lot of money, getting placed on the Giants. Now, normally, I wouldn't even be bothered with spreads, over-unders, or nothing like that. But this is a very, very, very important game for both teams, but I don't care about the Washington Commanders. I care about the Giants. This is a very, very important game, not just for the players, but the entire organization. There are question marks everywhere. There are rumblings everywhere. You go from, they're not really on the hot seat. They could be on the hot seat. No. That seat is boiling right now. To me, and to other people. To you, maybe not. But to me, the seat is boiling right now. Brian Dable, Joe Shane. What are we doing? I saw a presser with the defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, and it was about Isaiah Simmons, and Isaiah Simmons did not get a snap on the defense last week against the Minnesota Vikings. How can you not find a way to play Isaiah Simmons? The man with all the versatility in the world. Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? Is he a cornerback? The guy with all the versatility in the world could not make it on the field against the Minnesota Vikings. And then Shane Bowen says, I like that he's emotional about not playing. Like, I hope he takes that in it. You're the reason why he didn't play. You are the reason he didn't fit the plan. He didn't fit your plan. There's a lot of cleaning up to do. And I don't mean like cleaning the house, like firing people. I'm just talking about for this game, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. Dable took a shot last week as far as his game plan and being out-coached. Shane Bowen being out-coached. Really can't blame Mike Kafka because he wasn't the one calling the plays, but the lack of adjustments being made looks like it's poor preparation, but I can't even say that all the way. You know why? Because the defense made some stops early in the game. They seemed prepared then. Offense, maybe not so much. Or the offense, I should say, prepared for a game plan that Minnesota Vikings weren't even playing, and we didn't adjust. But back to the Washington Commanders. I watched that game. Jayden Daniels is as advertised, but I'm not impressed by the team as a whole. I think the biggest fear or the biggest problem that the New York Giants are going to have is containing Jayden Daniels once the play breaks down. Now, we already know that Jayden Daniels can throw it all over the field. Throw it deep, throw it short. He has not really built that chemistry. I saw a shot where I believe it was Terry McLaurin down the left sideline, and he missed him, overthrew him. You can't bank on that happening for too much longer. Jayden Daniels is dynamic in the same way that I would say, and I'm not a professional. I don't know Washington Commanders. I know the Giants. I don't know Washington Commanders like that. But when I look at Jayden Daniels and what he did last week, it's shades of RG3. And I know that's a lazy, that's a lazy comparison, and I get it. But when I'm looking at him, play breaks down, you can't contain him. he breaks off for the first down. That's what he did. I believe he had the most rushing yards for a quarterback in week 1. I expect that to look the same because their offensive line, to me, is not that good. It's not that good. They do have 2 solid running backs, maybe 3, but I know Eckler and Robinson can get the job done. We saw last week with us, we could not stop the run as soon as Dex was off the field. And that is something that is very, very troublesome. You have to be able to stop the run. And that's against anybody. I sound like a broken record when I say it. You got to be able to stop the run. We saw it last week with the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Jones, almost 100 yards on us. They can do whatever they want. They can relax as long as they are able to run the ball. It's that simple, but execution is everything. Our defense has to be disciplined. You have to push the pocket again, but when you flush Jayden Daniels, it's not Sam Darnold. Jayden Daniels will make you pay if you're not where you're supposed to be. He will break containment, and it's off to the races. Off to the races. That is the number one priority for the New York Giants on D. Yes, they got Terry McLaurin. Yes, they got Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, and I can't even remember some of the other De'Ami Brown. I don't. It's a bunch of people on the Washington Commanders, man. A bunch of people. But I'm not too. If you can stop Jayden Daniels, you can stop the Washington Commanders. I believe that our defensive front is better than that offensive line. I do believe that last week their offensive line, especially on the edges, were better than what we could. Were better than our edges, I should say, when it comes to Tibbs and Burns, and that's another thing. Tibbs and Burns. There was a lot of excitement going into last week. For Giants fans, I think everybody feels like Tibbs and Burns owe them money. You two guys owe me money, figuratively. You owe some plays. You owe some sacks, pause. You owe us some pressures. You owe us some TFLs. You owe us that. That's what you owe us. That's what you owe us. I don't know, man. I don't know. I already was not optimistic going into the season. I wanted to see what these guys would do. Week 1, you laid an egg. A bad one. You only scored 6 points. I believe you had it in your own red zone 3 times. Again, I only watched the game twice because it was disgusting. There were opportunities there to put 7 on the board, and we didn't do it. We got 2 turnovers, and did nothing with it. And you can't win games playing football like that. So, keys to victory. Again, keys to victory. Run the ball, stop the run. Simple. Contain Jayden Daniels. It's not that simple. Disciplining your assignments. That'll help you to contain Jayden Daniels. Keep everything underneath, like last week. Do not get beat deep. This man can throw the ball deep. He can throw it. He has the weapons on the outside that can do some things with it too. You have to be sound. Bowen, play Simmons next to Bobby Okereke in this game. You need that speed on the field. You need it. Pinnock and Nubin, those guys are going to be key in this game. The 2 safeties. Maybe if you want to go a 3 safety set and say Belton as well, Belton too. But Pinnock and Nubin, you heard it here first. This is a big game for those 2 guys. They're going to be cleanup. Cleanup for everything deep and cleanup for when Jayden Daniels, breaks containment. Those guys are going to be important, just like the linebackers. Okereke and Simmons, you guys are going to be running around like crazy in this game. Trust me. And Dexter Lawrence, I'm just hoping that you can get your hands on Jayden Daniels. I think you can. Just not once he's out of that pocket. I don't think you stand a chance. But if you push the pocket, good things should happen when it comes to comes to beating the Washington Commanders. Now on offense, yes, the Commanders have Bobby Wagner. What's the guy's name? Louvu. They got Payne. They got Allen. They got some good guys out there. But from what I saw last week with our offensive line, I think that we can protect the quarterback. And I also think we should be able to run the ball. I really do. And the biggest thing about this is Brian Daboll. Please listen to me, Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll, do not abandon the run. Do not abandon the run. Do not abandon the run. You got 3 running backs. 3 of them. We know one is pretty good in Singletary. The other 2, we don't even know what they are yet. Feed these guys the ball, and let's see what these guys can do. Daniel Jones, to me, feels like he's shell-shocked, like a shot fighter, holding his punches, does not trust what he sees. He doesn't look good. And the best way to get him out of that funk, or to try to get him out of that funk, is a strong running game. It sucks, I know. You have to rewind time and go back to 2022, but guess what? Your offensive line is better, so you should be able to have a solid running game against the Washington Commanders. That's what I think. Of course, you want to get neighbors involved, end arounds possibly, jet sweeps possibly, jet motion out to the flat. You did say that you were going to move him around a lot to get him off of the press. I expect to see Malik Neighbors in the slot a little bit more than we've seen him before. I hope that we get a heavier dose of Jalen Hyatt. The man was on a milk carton last week. You traded up to get Jalen Hyatt. Remember that? You traded up. You gave up a pick to get Jalen Hyatt, and you should be using him. You should be using Jalen Hyatt more. If you want to use him as a decoy, fine, but you have to have him on the field. He needs the reps. Theo Johnson, this could be a big game for Theo Johnson. So that gets me into, players to watch this week. I want to see how Burns and Tibbs answer the bell. I want to see how those 2 answer the bell. If you pissed off at reporters, Kayvon Thibodeau, go ahead and show us something. Brian Burns didn't quite have, the welcome, I should say, the welcome that he should have got. Do that against the Washington Commanders. Those 2 guys high on my list. We already know what Dex is. Other than that, 2 corners. Deonte Banks, you have to have a better game. I would love a turnover this game. Whether it be an interception, stripping somebody. I would like to see a turnover from Tay Banks. Adoree Jackson, okay, let him keep getting his legs under him. Cordell Flott, the coaches trust you way more than the fans do right now. Way more than the fans do. So those are the guys I'm keeping my eye on. And again, both of those safeties, Pinnock and Newman, I expect something good to happen from those guys. On the offensive side, keep working, keep trying to get Neighbors the ball. But Tracy, Singletary, and Gray, I need to see some remnants of Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know that's asking a lot, but that's just me with the emphasis on running the ball. This team needs to rush over 100 yards with those 3 running backs. And it don't have to be one running back getting 100 yards. It can be all 3 totaling to 100 yards. But we need 100 yards rushing and probably at least another 250 in the air. That's what I'm hoping for. You can't have these games where you're getting 200 total yards for the game. That is despicable, ugly, and disgusting. Disgusting. We got to get over 300, 350. It has to be at least that for us to even be watchable. Be watchable and to keep up with the rest of the NFL. Not even keeping up with the rest of the NFL, but to remain watchable at the bottom of the NFL. And it sucks to say that in year 3 of this new regime. But I'm curious to see what happens, man. I'm not going to do a prediction because you know what? I don't feel like it. It is what it is. I just want a win. If it's 7-10, if it's 27-10, I need the New York Giants to win. I would love them to drop a 30 burger on the Commanders, but That's a big ask right now. And Daniel Jones, you say you don't shake easy. The Bulls don't get into your head. Well, somebody needs to get into your head. Somebody. Wake up. Wake up. You'll be somebody's backup quarterback next year, if you're lucky. Because you won't be making that kind of money that you're making right now. You'll go from the $48 million man to probably making around $6 million as somebody's backup. And hopefully you like money. You might not need the money, but hopefully you like money. And hopefully, just out of pride alone, you go out there and play better. Just play better, please. So that's going to be the video. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.
We got to be